It is the honour of my life to stand before you as Foreign Secretary. Britain has enormous potential, but the world faces huge challenges. More countries engaged in conflict than at any time since World War II. Rapidly changing technology and a climate emergency. Together, let us fight for a better future once again. Change begins now.
All right, so as you all know by now, the United Kingdom recently seeing a huge shift in power after a new Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party saw a landslide victory in last week's election. Our next guest, who you just heard right there, will be part of the team tasked with working with world leaders during a time when there are more countries engaged in conflicts around the globe. Joining me now for more is the United Kingdom's Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, David Lammy. Mr. Secretary, good to see you this morning. So I know you're in Washington this week and will participate in a bilateral meeting at the White House later today. What are you and Prime Minister Starmer hoping to get out of this meeting?
Well, let me just say it's wonderful to be back here in the United States. Whilst I was shadowing this role as Foreign Secretary, I visited 7 times. The relationship between the US and the UK is a special relationship for a reason. And so it's very good to be here at this NATO summit to reaffirm the NATO alliance. We celebrate 75 years of history and to stand with Zelensky and the people of Ukraine and to make sure that all alliance partners are committing minimum 2% of their GDP to defense spending. That is what we hope to achieve working with Joe Biden and the delegation across the United States.
And I'm sure not many in the UK watched the U.S. presidential debate a few weeks ago as here, but the clips are out there. Biden's performance has stolen every headline since. How are people in the UK feeling about the president of the United States? And does the UK have any concern that this president is not fit to lead?
Oh, look, we've just come out of an election cycle in the UK, and people had their views about the candidates and the platform on which they stood. And here in America, this is a lively, big, significant, important democracy. I've lived in America. I've studied in America. I've got more family than I can count in America. They all have their views, by the way, on both sides of the political divide. We will work with whomever the American people decide to be their president in November. And I've followed so many US elections. I know between now and November, there will be many, many, many commentators expressing their views and many, many ups and downs.
Yes, there will. So how does the UK prepare for a possible change in power if Trump wins?
Well, it is important for me that I am speaking to Republicans, of course, and that I have been speaking to Republicans over the last few months. You know, I met with J.D. Vance at the Munich Security Conference in February. We met again a few months ago when I was last in D.C. with Mike Pompeo and others. Of course, it's important that we are ensuring that we are working across the political divide. The world needs the UK and the US to be completely cross-party and bipartisan, and that is the way we approach these important foreign policy issues.
And as you know, one of the topics at the NATO summit this week will be Ukraine. Does the UK support allowing Ukraine to join NATO?
Look, I'm pleased that it looks like we are going to achieve language that supports the Ukraine's security guarantees, supports the pathway, I think, that is irreversible. That is hugely, hugely important, and that we come out of this NATO conference united. And the most important thing is that Vladimir Putin looks at this alliance of so many countries and realizes that we are in this for the long haul and that we are committed to multi-funding for Ukraine, their military, their humanitarian, and their important aid effort to beat him in this fight.
Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.